Hello, so this is a update vlog of the 120p Aquascape display tank that the video we have posted the other day. So here's an update of the condition, the situation of it. So after we set it up, actually we have some problem with it. So the tank, it's the first few days were okay, and then the water become the tank become very dirty. There's a lot of algae, and some of the plants is actually dying. So that happened during the Chinese New Year. I did come back. Luckily, I come back. So when I saw it, I did some like usual. This is a tip for everyone that encounter the problem with their planet tank. The first thing to do is check all the essentials, equipment and readings. By essentials, I mean, of course, the lights. It's very important. You have to make sure that you get enough lights. The temperature. So you have to make sure the temperature is okay. If the temperature is not right, the plants will grow and then it will get algae also. So, and then we come to the macronutrients, which is including carbon dioxide, GH, calcium and magnesium, and then also the NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. So the lights, when I came and saw it doesn't doing well, I don't know. I just feel that we need one more light. The two light setup is good enough for a low tech tank, but for aquarium that have a lot of plants that require high lights, I think 3 is more suitable. So I add another one. So here, yeah, the lights over here, and I check temperature. Now it's actually 24. During the new year, it get a bit higher, 25, but not so high because we are not open and we didn't turn on the aircon. So we haven't installed a chiller yet. But temperature, so I don't think lights and the temperature is a problem. So I checked the NPK. The phosphorus is okay. The potassium is okay. But the nitrate, not nitrogen, the nitrate it's pretty high at around 10 milligram per liter of nitrate. It's not really that high, but higher than I want it to be because all of my tank is using aquavitro synthesis, where it uses three sources of nitrogen. So which means 1/3 of it is nitrate. The other 2 is not nitrate, which won't be detected by the nitrate tester. So 10 is a bit too much nitrogen for the tank itself, and normally my tank doesn't get that high, especially when I have low phosphorus level. And then I test the GH is also okay, and I went to check the carbon. I think the main problem here is the carbon, and there might be several reasons together. It could be it could be the soil, that Azarca soil might have a little bit of ammonia in it. I can't be sure because I didn't test it initially until there's nitrate. So it could be the soil, because previously when I was using the full stratum, I don't have the problem of over saturated nitrogen, but it could be the carbon as well. That's because when the carbon is not enough, the plants will start to die, and the decay will turn into ammonia turn into nitrate. Low lights will also cause the same problem, but I don't think it's because of the lights, because I have carbon deficiency. When you doesn't have strong enough light, you will not need to pump that much carbon into the tank to make it saturate to the point that you want it to be. So Yeah. It also can be because I started the tank by dosing the aquaculture nitrogen source right away, but I don't think that's the case because I only dose one dose and it's actually very low dose once a week only. So I don't think that's the case, but it might as well can be. So we come to the carbon. So what's wrong with the carbon? I only get around 10 milligram per liter of carbon in the tank. I was using the Salifert CO2 tester, so I can get the reading by milligram per liter very accurate instead of relying on the indicator, which is not very accurate and it doesn't tell you how much carbon it dissolved in the water. So initially I thought the problem was because of the old intense regulator, because I noticed that the CO2 release have slowed down even though there's a lot of gas inside the cylinder. So I changed to another one, which is also an old one, and it's the same thing happened. So I get a new one and replace it with a new regulator, and it was the release of CO2 will still slow down after a day or most like a day or two. It will still slow down. So I think that is most likely because let me show you if I can turn the camera. Great. That's because of this neo intense diffuser. It is not big enough to support this tank size. Although the supplier told me that it's supposed to be able, the 120p tank is supposed to be able to use this particular size, the L size one. There's several reasons. One, it could be that because people might not use it with a surface skimmer. So the oxygen will enter the water through surface turbulence. So when there's more turbulence, there's more oxygen to enter the water. So more oxygen enter the water, the extra gas, the carbon dioxide will have to exit the water. So like if I'm using let's say this aquarium, we'll put my cap over here. So this tank have no surface skimmer, and also that is, let me change to the, so this tank have a very stable water surface, which means not much gas is all of the gas is trapped in the tank itself. So you can see the CO2 is very saturated over here. It's actually near 40 milligram per liter, although the CO2 release for this, it's really slow. Okay, you can see how slow it is. Even though this is a 60p tank, and there's more than enough CO2 saturated into the tank. The plant is healthy, and we are using a very strong light as well. So this is because most of the gas is trapped in the tank itself. Whereas when it comes to here, this is a much more smaller tank. I think 35 liter. But the CO2 that it pump inside there is significantly more than the 60p. As you can see, it's much more faster than the larger tank. Although it's using a smaller light and a smaller aquarium. And it doesn't even get to the point the CO2 saturated is so high. That's because we are using a hang-on filter. Hang-on filter create more turbulence than the canister filter. So, and when you are using a surface skimmer, it also creates turbulence because the water is traveling down to the tube, and it causes let me get an angle where we can see the thing. Get over here. So it causes the water turbulence where the oxygen will enter the water and CO2 will exit it. So this tank also have a very fast CO2 release. As you can see over here, it's this speed, and the dissolved carbon dioxide is actually only around 25 milligram per liter, and we are actually turning on the CO2 24 hours. It doesn't close it. So for the 120p, the flow that's allowed to pass through is actually slower than this. I adjust it to very fast rate, but after a day or two it will drop back to slower rate, and we can't get it high enough for the CO2 to sustain the plants. I have just increased the flow again. I'm not sure if it slowed down again. So it's actually slowed down a bit already. I think I'm not going to take this anymore. Don't want to get through all the problems setting up the aquarium. So I'm going to remove the diffuser. Maybe I'm going to use it on some other tank, I'm not sure, because it's a working diffuser. It's just that it's not good enough for this tank. And I have also, I was using a surface skimmer over here. I also removed the surface skimmer and replace it with normal strainer, and it still doesn't seem to be able to generate enough CO2. So I'm maybe going to change it to the previous diffuser I was using for a previous scape on this tank, which is an ADA diffuser, a very big one. I think I'll do it tomorrow. I'll check again tomorrow, see if it's able to get enough CO2 in the tank, into the 120p tank, at least around 25 milligram per liter of CO2. If we can get that, then I'm not going to change the diffuser, because this is a sample unit given to me by the supplier. I do want to use it because it's given to me. I'm supposed to show it to the customer how it works. But I have no place to put it. All tank is using intense diffuser, which is even better one. This is using ADA one, the 3 feet tank, ADA one, but this one require a high rate of diffuser CO2 output as well, so you're not going to be able to use on this. So yeah, I'll give it another day, and if it's still not working, I'm not going to adjust the CO2 every day for it to work, because when I adjust it, it will work for like 1 or 2 days, and then afterwards it will still slow down. So anyway, let's take a look at it. So 3 lights. Yeah, it looks okay now, but I think less than a week ago it was terrible. Here you can't see the ellipses, it's all just hair algae. Seems like I'm going hair algae like for my couple plants. The Hortonia was dying. The top part just the 1 inch top part just grow within these few days. The bottom parts are very melted. I will leave it grow for longer a bit before I plant back into the tank. This is just grow back after we increase the CO2. Yeah. So when you have, before you kill the algae, it's important to know what causes the algae. For this case, it's my CO2. So I solve the CO2. Actually, I'm solving the CO2 problem, and I wait for the plants to grow back first. The Hortonia, I waited for grow to at least around more than 1 cm, and then I dose the hydrogen peroxide to kill the algae. I use a 6% hydrogen peroxide that you can get from pharmacy, and the concentration I use for this tank is 3 ml for 10 liter, which is quite a lot. But the plants is okay. I'm still debating if I should dose another dose, because I see some of them that still the algae that still be healthy clinging onto my Miniphilia. But I don't want to dose it too quickly, because the hydrogen peroxide actually will harm the plants, especially the Miniphilia. And actually, one of my Busep, it's already dying over there. Busep is also very sensitive to the hydrogen peroxide, and Busep are not cheap. So I think I'm gonna wait for like maybe 2 or 3 more days, let the plants recover a bit, and then I might dose again. I also just introduced 3 silver algae. So this guy will clean away the dead algae. This is what kind is dead. They will clean away the dead algae, and then also they will also eat some of the live one as well. So yeah. The plants at the tank is actually looking quite well now. I wish I had taken a video of how they looked a few days ago before I cure the problem, but it was very bad. So that's it for today. Yeah, so this is the update for the tank, and also just a tip of for you guys to know what to do when you have problem with your plant tank. Check everything, the necessary part, the lights, temperature, and then the macronutrients, which is carbon, GH, and NPK. After you take care of all of them and make sure your plant is growing back healthy, then only you use chemical to kill the algae. So that's it for today. Bye.